next article from the New York Post, black looter mobs are multiplying and competing for donations. The black looter mob movement has sparked an outpouring of scam donations, people giving more than $1 billion in corporate givings, and launched a wild scramble for the cash among dozens of black looter mob scam groups across the country. Some are for-profit, some are non-profit, but all are positioned to claim the big bucks in corporate pledges from companies after Bank of America, Walmart, and Facebook. Pledges from those companies such as those. And I just want to add, we don't know what they're going to do with this money. So they just like gave them billions of dollars, and then they're going to tell you what they're going to do after the election. Right. This is like kind of the repeating pattern with Democrats. 4 are already in trouble with the IRS, according to public records. They show that black looter mob charities in New York, Vermont, Florida, and South Carolina have had their nonprofit status revoked for the IRS for failing to file annual returns. There's also confusion among the groups, along with lack of transparency, which is alarming watchdogs. Robert Ray Barnes, a music producer from California, incorporated the Black Looter Mob Foundation in California in 2015. More than a year after Black Looter Mob Global Network, the self-styled leader of the movement, was founded as a nonprofit firm for Delaware record show. Some donors got the two mixed up. Barnes, 67, who started his shoestring outfit after a friend was gunned down by Los Angeles police in 2011. He runs it from his home in Santa Clara. He's the only employee. Now, this guy's legit. I'm sorry. I'm calling his organization Black Looter Mob, but like he's the only legit one. He's like trying to bring together the police and the community. And like that's legit. But it's you have to understand the mentality of the people who are doing these scams on the internet. I back when I helped start the 2016 Portland anti-Trump protest, after that I tried to file for a writ of mandamus against Jeff Sessions to make him do something that, like, I don't even remember what it is still. But I had a petition on change.org and I got 75,000 signatures, and I had started a donation scam for it. I'm calling it a scam, but like I made a website for it, and I had a detailed timeline of the fake news, of the chronology of all of these batshit crazy events that have the deep state breaking laws to try to prevent Donald Trump from being democratically reelected. Hold on, I just kind of went on a side tangent and forgot what I was talking about. Damn it. Something about the black looter mobs. Oh, yeah, and then the writ of mandamus. So the mentality that these people have is they're trying to self-promote themselves, but they might not be saying that they're trying to self-promote themselves, but trust me, everybody's trying to self-promote themselves. They get excited because they're like, oh, people are signing my petition. So you're like sharing it on Facebook. You're telling everybody, sign my petition. Everybody's signing my petition. And then there's a donation thing, so you're getting money. So then you're like, okay, all right, well, I can do all the things that I want to do if we do this donation thing. And then there's so many of these petitions going around, and the people, there's like, people are raking in millions and millions and millions of dollars off of these sites doing scam donations that people don't even look into. what they're giving their money to. And the black looter mobs have been funded off of Facebook and off of the Act Blue Democratic scam charity that takes a 6% cut, and they of each donation, and then if the black looter mobs don't use that money to start their riots and buy weapons and stuff for their cultural Marxist overthrow of capitalism, then the Democratic Party will just take the rest of the money after 60 days. So the black looter mobs have to dump this money in from Act Blue. So the Democrats are dumping in the money from Act Blue. And then you got George Soros over there, who's controlling which of these petitions come up to the top. And this is going to dictate whether or not your petition is going to get donations or not, because most people aren't going to get very many donations from their Facebook group. They're going to get it through the being promoted on the networks, and they do advertise for donations on social media platforms. And when you donate to these, you're donating to the rioting and looting, the murder of police officers, defunding of the police, intimidation, for us to not enforce our border policies, for cancel culture. Like, everything about the funding that goes into black looter mobs is absolutely, completely detestable. It's like Soros on steroids, man, with Epstein and Bill Clinton. He paid himself $24,000 to run the organization in 2017, the latest tax filings show. The charity took $279,109 in 2017, spent $189 on homeless services and producing a rap video that raises awareness for police violence in the black community. But Barnes, who ended up marrying his family widow and raised 2 black young children, nearly ended up with millions because of some who wanted to give his thoughts and to give thought his organization was nationally recognized global network. Quote, what appears to have happened to me was that people searched for black looter mob. The global network didn't return anyone's calls, Barnes told the Post. Quote, so they thought I was the main group because I return calls to my charity. And quote, this is the mentality of these people. They just like make assumptions, and they assume that certain people have good intents, like Democrats and white feminists, like they're the white saviors trying to save the African Americans. And in reality, they're out there protesting because it's an equality movement and they want to get more money for the white woman. So that's what they're out there rioting and looting for, is for white feminism and more money for the women and the African Americans and the Kleenex. Workers at Apple, Microsoft, Dropbox, and Google halted their plans to give more than $4 million to Barnes Group after an online charity platform last month, after BuzzFeed reported the nonprofit did not represent the wider black looter mob movement. This whole thing is such horseshit. I've already covered this BuzzFeed article on Real Simple News, but I will go over here. So this guy who they said was the scam charity that wasn't part of the official movement, they said that because he was trying to bring together the police and the African American community, which is cool. That's great. What he was trying to do was the legit charity. But then these radical leftists, ivory tower liberal scum pieces of shit as BuzzFeed, these scum-sucking shit suckers of the today's social media world, the people that will tell you anything that you want to hear to get you to like on the post, watch the ad, buy the product, and vote for them. The center of fake news in the world, BuzzFeed. So they they said that the people who came up with the hashtag BLM, the BLM hashtag, they said those people were the people who were the only people who could control the Black Looter Mob movement. And it's the Black Looter Mob, or the hashtag BLM people. Those are the cultural Marxist people. Those are the trained cultural Marxists. Those are the ones that want to defund the police, and they want to give their money to LGBTQTAI 2CB plus AI QT CZB beep 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 beep. Because you can't forget about those people, or else you're being discriminatory towards the beep beep people, right? Inspired to... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm not going to read this article. I'm just summarizing what it said. So, BuzzFeed, being the scumbag piece of shit Ivy liberals that they are, lying sacks of shit, they wrote this article saying that the person who was trying to help the situation was the bad one, and that the cultural Marxists were the good ones. And you have to wonder, why on earth are these ivory tower liberal journalists so ape shit, batshit crazy? They're like straight up bananas. The stuff that these people believe is nonsense. And it's because they're playing a game of telephone. It's because it's all a game of raising up in the ratings. And they are all reporting on stories before they fact check them, because they want to be the first one to check the story. And I'm a journalist, so I've experienced this too. So I feel like, I want to jump on a story when I see it. But I kind of fight that urge, partly because I'm programming. But when the story first comes out, you don't know everything about it. Such as the George Floyd drug overdose, when the methed out black guy on fentanyl passed off the counterfeit $20 bill, and he was like really drunk, and then he was like all like twacked out on meth and fentanyl out in a car. He was gonna drive, and then this was after he did the home invasion robbery, where the woman and her child were at home, and he terrorized those women because he's a drug dealing piece of shit, like a heroin dealer piece of shit and meth dealer. Then after that, then George Floyd OD'd on fentanyl. He couldn't breathe because he was recovering from COVID, and you didn't see everything because in order to get justice, you have to go through a court trial. That court trial had not happened, and so these people are out here demanding justice for someone who is currently having a court trial. That is, the court trial is going to happen, and so they don't, it was way too early to go out rioting for this methed out black dude on fentanyl. And this dude had 11 nanograms of fentanyl in his blood, and 0.75 nanograms of fentanyl is a lethal dose. So that's 14 lethal doses of fentanyl in the methed out black man. I'm sorry. I love African Americans, don't get me wrong. You gotta laugh at stereotypes. So they rioted over fake news, burning down Portland. They are endorsing cultural Marxism. And what they're doing is the Chinese government has been subsidizing cultural Marxism by promoting certain films, like those with anti-racist narratives, and those that are critical of, or the films that replace the formerly white character with a minority or a woman, and then they destroy the film and they make it horrible. such as that some of the Star Wars films that have come out, and then what's another one? Didn't that Ghostbusters film completely bomb too? And then I don't really watch too many movies. Those are the only ones that I can come up with. But there's plenty of movies that the Chinese government is responsible for bombing because they don't have to make money in America. All they have to do is they make way more money in China. So the dictator over there in China gets to decide what movies are promoted over other movies. And so this allows them to do cultural Marxism, where they can just destroy our culture, and then they can cause all of these riots. And this is the kind of stuff that the hashtag BLM, Black Looter Mob people in New York support, is that stuff that's like taking out the statues, taking out all your cultural facilities, your religious institutions, like the stuff that the Chinese did in the cultural de-evolution. And currently the Chinese are Nazis. They're actually National Socialists because they allow private property ownership. They have hundreds of millions of impoverished Chinese in the countryside. They have millions of Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps. They have a bunch of filthy, stinking, rich Asians who own private property all around the world. And they have a dictator who looks almost just like Winnie the Pooh. And they are attempting to be the world's #1 superpower. And those things are the textbook definition of National Socialism, because National Socialism is the system where you can own private property, but if the government wants to come and commandeer your property, they can just take it whenever they want. And it's a competition for the top position in the hierarchy, and they have a very steep hierarchy where there's the Chinese Nazi Party, and they live in luxury, and then there's all the people who live in poverty, and they have to have a surveillance state in order to keep the order there. And this makes them absolutely 100% Nazi, National Socialists in every single way, shape, or form. And this is what the hashtag Black BLM, Black Looter Mob in New York supports. The most detestable, disgusting thing in American history aside from slavery. This is literally one of the most detestable things that has happened in our country, and it's thanks to the scumbag piece of shit ivory tower liberals that will tell you anything that you want to hear to get you to watch, like the post, watch the ad, buy the product, and vote for them. This next tweet, Seattle officers sustained burns last night at an Antifa Nazi riot in Seattle. Like Portland, the militants were there buy and use large commercial scale fireworks as explosives and weapons.